Stuff. You're listening to Paranormal UK Radio.
Hi everybody, this is Irene from Paranormal UK Radio Show, the flagship show on the Paranormal UK Radio Network. And here I am again, once again, with Mark Johnson.
Hello.
Hello. I messed that one up again, didn't I? You make sure you cut that off. Because,
yes. So half the time
I
think
alien language on there that most people wouldn't understand.
I think I want to leave these in sometimes so people can hear all the cussing and swearing you do when you mess up. Well, why don't we go ahead and we'll get started with the show. Shall we introduce our guest?
Let's go on then.
Okay. Our guest tonight comes from your neck of the woods, really close to you. From, how do you pronounce that again? Cloneffe? I don't remember.
I think you'd be better off to get Geraint to pronounce it even better than I can. Just down the road, anyway. He comes from just down the road.
Down the road, yes. Our guest tonight is Geraint Hopkins.
Geraint.
Geraint? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I screwed that up. Sorry, Grant. But, yeah, he's joining us tonight. He is a local ghost hunter in Wales, and he's also known as the Snake Man. So, Geraint, welcome to the program.
Hiya, Mark. You've said that quite well, to be honest, because some people can't say Llanelli at all, and I have been called worse than Geraint, so you're all right.
Okay. Yeah, I've been called quite some worse names too. So, Grant, so let's talk a little bit about yourself for people who may not know you and your background. It seems like you have two passions that you work with. So, let's talk about how you got the name Snake Man. What is that about?
Well, I've raised a lot of money for charities over the years. I've raised over £1 million for different charities.
Wow.
And years ago, I used to sit in shop windows full of snakes to raise money for local, charities. And the press they found out I was doing, these really dangerous things in windows. So they nicknamed me the Snake Man. And that's how I got the name, and it's just stuck. I've done TV programs, and I'm known as the Snake Man.
It sounds like some sort of wrestler's name, doesn't it? The Snake Man. And the last time I saw it,
I can tell you a funny story. Once what happened.
Yeah,
I had
go on
a phone call from this guy from a village up in the valleys, and he said to me, I picked the phone up thinking that, he had a snake or something in his house. But no, he asked me, are you willing to do a hen party? And but obviously he thought I was a stripper.
I was going to say the last time I saw anyone sitting in a window, it was in Amsterdam. But you just bettered me there.
To do with your body then? I said, no, I'm not a stripper.
Oh dear, I bet you thought you were a big boy.
You better ask Yola and my wife about that, I think. No, I don't.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, tell us about your snakes, Geraint.
Right, well, we do a lot with conservation and education.
Yeah.
We do shows in, usually in how can I put it? We do show. I've obviously had them on TV. I've also done radio shows with them, and I've also educated the public what we do. We go to Cardiff. We've been in Cardiff National History Museum, where I do demonstrations and various museums. And sometimes we do like carnivals and stuff like that, but I actually educate people about snakes.
Are the reptiles as well?
The reptiles, yes. If you think we've got 180 snakes, okay?
I knew it was over 100.
60 spiders.
60
some
big
of the biggest.
spiders. Fuck.
Yeah. Some the size of a dinner plate, you know, the legs hang over.
Yeah.
They are bird eaters. We obviously got smaller spiders as well, but the bird eater, we've got salmon pink bird eaters, which is the third biggest tarantula in the world. They are main fangs. We have obviously got lizards. We have got rats. We've also got what we call a pygmy hedgehog, which is an African pygmy hedgehog, so we breed them.
Mm.
And we breed them for a reason, so then we can show people, because our native species are not allowed to take out of the wild, so we educate people with ours, see?
Yeah. Well, our native species are getting rare, aren't they? So
they are. I've actually just started putting posters up now saying nest in peace. Yeah. Because what's happening is people are finding hedgehogs in their gardens, and they're actually taking them away, and maybe they've got babies in the garden, which is, you know, killing the babies. And also educate them that you're not supposed to give them milk. You're supposed to give them cat
water.
Food.
Yeah, water and dog food.
Exactly. Cat food. But that's basically what we do. We also educate vets as well, if need be. And if a hospital needs anything, you know, if somebody's got bitten by a snake, we then advise them what to do as well.
Yeah. Do you keep anti-venom at your house?
No,
because obviously you've got a lot of poison snakes there as well, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I've only got one venomous snake here. And the reason that is, all my snakes are constrictors. So they will squeeze you. But you're talking 24 foot down, you know, from 24 foot in length. The problem is now we've only got a venomous snake at the moment, which actually came from Asia, which was found on a road. And we found out after picking it up, and realized that it was a rear-fanged Asian snake called a mangrove snake. Mm. It's really aggressive, but it's rear-fanged, you see.
Yeah.
In 2015, they took these off the dangerous one animal license. Front fang snakes are still on it, but these can make you ill if they bite you as well. You know, if you were allergic to the venom, you know, it could be really naughty. But we found this on the road.
Yeah. Because, you know, I met up with you again. I've known you for some time, but I met up with you again when I phoned the authorities because I had this snake in my compost bin, people, and it was there on and off for about a week. And we didn't know what it was. To me, it looked like an adder, but my husband argued with that. But to me, it had the markings of an adder and the colouring of the adder. And I phoned up the authorities, and who should turn up at my door? You, Geraint.
Me, yeah. Well, this is where it gets really a lot of work for me, because we do, unless we get money off the people, we don't get paid. I cover the police forces in Wales. Yeah. That's obviously South Wales, Disney Powys, North Wales. Mm-hmm. And I also cover the local authorities as well.
Yeah.
So I started doing it for a favour a few years ago, and it went from being a favour then to really, really, you know, you're talking 250 calls a year.
Yeah, well, this is it. Every time a policeman's got a problem with a snake, he's phoning you up, isn't he? Well, they're phoning you.
Yeah. And even we, you know, if sometimes we have to go to a crime scene, if there's a snake in there, we have to take the snake out. So we've got CSI gear in my car. Mark will know what that is, a CSI in America. So it is a lot of, you know, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of calls. Alone in the last couple of weeks, I had 40 calls in a week.
Yeah.
And it's because of the lockdown. Because what's happening is native snakes are coming out, and people see them and automatically think, oh, God, there's a dangerous snake, and phone the council and send me out.
Yeah.
See,
so you've been kept busy.
That's one thing you never, at least from here, over here in America, you never really think that much about there being a lot of snakes in the UK. Now, we have tons of them over here, and everything from from non-poisonous like rat snakes and garter snakes to the poisonous kind where I live, rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, water moccasins. So a lot of different poisonous snakes.
Yeah, and you're not in New York. They're not allowed to keep Burmese pythons. That's the law in New York, apparently.
Yeah, because people were keeping them as pets, and then they were like going down the down the toilets and going into the sewers.
Yeah, it's not. That is the problem. You see, there is no such thing as a pet snake. They've still got that wild instinct, you know.
When I was a teenager, I had a pet garter snake. You know, just a little thin garter snake. He didn't live for very long, for whatever reason. I think we just
didn't feed him, I expect.
No, we fed him. It's just I just think that it just, I don't know. We may not have had enough water for him or whatnot. So
yeah, did you feed him fish, Mark?
What? Yeah, we gave him fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well,
mice. They'll eat mice as well.
Oh, we had when the boys were little, we bought a black rat snake for Jamie, and Billy had a corn snake. And although they were only small snakes, one of them bit me when I was opening up his, the glass. It got me on the hand, and I tell you what, the pain was terrible. Have you ever been bitten?
Now, let me explain. You know, if you get bitten by a small little a corn snake...
It was a rat snake that done it.
Yeah, the rat snake there. Well, corn snakes are a gutata in the proper name, but obviously we don't use that. Right. No. The initial bite is nothing. I get bitten by small ones. Irene, it's nothing. To you, it would be obviously because the shock of it really biting you really quick. Yeah. But if you can imagine what a Burmese python, a 22-foot, can do to you, right?
Oh, it ate me.
I've got stitches. I had sutures in my arm. Yolan's had sutures in her arm, where a big Burmese have actually bit us. If you imagine, when they latch onto you, the big constrictors, we'll say like the biggest snake in the world, which is not an anaconda, by the way. That is the head, yeah? The biggest snake in the world is a reticulated python. When they latch onto you, it's 200-pound pressure they're putting into those jaws.
My God.
And they can tear through muscle and anything with that because they've got over 100 recurved teeth.
Blimey.
So, can you imagine what it is like? The small ones, I've been bitten by small ones. There's nothing, a bit of disinfectant and it's gone. But you have to be careful. Because sometimes if you pull away too quick, the teeth will snap inside the wound.
Yeah.
And then you have a problem to get the teeth out.
Yeah, but, I shook this one off.
Rat snakes are known.
It still hurt. It hurt as much as a dog bite.
Oh, yeah, because what it is, see, as they put pressure on you, it's like a tourniquet, so you bleed more.
Yeah.
Did it actually latch on? Did it actually hold on to you, or did it just let it go?
Yeah, I had to shake it off my arm, off my hand. You know, it was flapping around in the air.
Ouch.
Well, with big Burmese pythons, it's very dodgy because even, reticulated pythons, they can kill you within 10 minutes, of constriction. Yeah. And the only way to get them off is, which Yola and my wife taught me, was, if you can imagine now, this is hypothetically telling you, have you ever put silver foil in your mouth?
Yes.
Tin foil, aluminum foil, what they call it in America?
Yes.
What happens if you got fillings? It hurts. You get like a shock, don't you?
Yes.
Right. Well, what happens, Mark? What happens is they've got a nerve inside their mouth. So when you poke it with a stick, what we use with the snakes, it actually releases straight away. It does the same effect as if you put aluminum on your teeth. So that's how we get them off. But it is quite a job to get the big constrictors off.
Oh, I've got all shivery now. Anyway, so you do and you go out and you talk to children in the schools and everything. You do a hell of a lot for for the reptile world, definitely, and like you say, charity
and conservation. That's our main thing.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how to say the word. That's why I changed it. Yeah, conservation. But this is very, very expensive, isn't it? You know, keeping all these animals.
You know, we actually did a charity thing in New York. I don't know if you know about this, do you?
No.
Right, I went to New York. Right, we raised $2,000 for meningitis research. You know, children's meningitis.
Yeah.
And Yolan organised it. It was amazing. We decided now we have to do something different. So we went to New York, and I took a police helmet from our police to the New York police.
Yeah.
And I also took the Twin Towers was still there then, by the way. The Twin Towers was there. And I took the fire brigade, the fire department, we took stuff from them out to them in New York as well. And we also went to meet the mayor, who was Giuliani at the time, I believe.
Yep, Rudy Giuliani.
We took stuff from our local council to him. But anyway, when we got to meet Giuliani, as we walked in, we saw Giuliani. They didn't stop us. They said, I explained what we were doing, and they let us meet the mayor. And as we got to the mayor, he was with I can't remember, he was with New York Yankees. So we didn't actually talk to him, but we spoke to his assistant.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And we went to some local fire department. We went to a local fire station, and we had 2 days there and 2 days with the police as well.
Oh.
Then what we did, we'd already raised the money, so we knew that, the money was saved, okay? So what we actually did was, the plan was that we were going to climb the Twin Towers and the Empire State with a rope on our shoulder. Now, have you worked it out, what we really did?
No.
We climbed the stairs of the Empire State and the Twin Towers with a rope on our shoulder. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, it was a nightmare. It took hours to do the two of them.
Yeah.
And we didn't even ask. We did not plan anything. We weren't allowed to get any taxis in Manhattan. We had to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
But we did it. And obviously we paid for our own, me and Yolan paid for our own trip and our own hotel and everything. So the only people who knew we were coming were the New York Police Department.
Yeah.
And they asked me not to bring any snakes. But we had a brilliant time with the New York Fire Department. But we did the Empire State and the Twin Towers. And this is the sad bit. This is the sad bit now. One of the fire stations we went to, I actually asked the battalion chief what would happen if the Twin Towers caught fire. And he said, well, we wouldn't be able to put it out. And I was reading, when this thing happened in New York, I actually did a book, a remembrance book in Llanelli, and loads of people filled it in, and we sent it to New York. But the battalion chief we were with got killed in the Twin Towers.
Oh, that's a shame.
And he actually had British relatives living in England. But we loved it. We loved it in New York. We went round, we were there for a week. And I flew back to Llanelli and went straight to Margam to do a paranormal investigation.
And we're going to be talking about Margam later on. But also, like I said, you do a hell of a lot for charity. And if anybody wants to send any money to Geraint, okay, you can send it to him through his paper.
What's happened is, because we haven't had no work this year, we are desperate to get money for the reptiles.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty bad. Sorry, I were up talking then. Yeah, I've got an address. If you want me to, I've got a PayPal address. If you want me to give it,
have you got it handy?
Or do you want me to send it to you later?
Well, if you've got it handy, we'll say it out on the air now for anybody to be able to give donations or help Geraint in his work and to keep the reptiles fed. That would be very good.
I'll give it to you now, okay?
Okay.
It's Snakey, SNAKEY.
Okay.
2000 2003 at yahoo.co.uk.
Okay. So that's SNAKEY 200.
No, 2000.
Right.
So Snaky 2000.
Snaky 2000, 2003 at yahoo.co.uk.
Okay, and we'll be putting that on their website, on it, and on the Facebook pages as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Sure. So, why don't we talk a little bit about your other endeavor, which is your ghost hunting. You're known as a Gothic ghost hunter. How long have you been doing ghost paranormal research?
I've been doing it about the same time as I've had Snakes, Mark, which is about 30 years. I started off, I did the first ever Welsh TV program from a haunted location in Wales. The reason I got the name Gothic Ghost Hunter was only about 4 years ago. I've done celebrity ghost hunts, you see. Like I've done celebrity snake shows, I've done celebrity ghost hunts, and the celebrity ghost hunt I did was with a guy called Joey Essex. You might have heard of him in America, I don't know, but I know Eileen's probably heard of Joey.
Yeah, I know about Joey Essex.
Yeah. I spent a week with him, Mark, right? And it was
must have done your brain in.
It would have done your brain in, Mark. And what happened was, the program was narrated a voiceover by Philip Schofield from This Morning.
This Morning. That's a television show, Mark.
Okay.
And he said, on the end of the program, he said, the snake-loving, hearse-driving, Gothic ghost hunter, and the Gothic ghost hunter are stuck. So I'm basically the Gothic ghost hunter now.
Yeah. Gothic ghost hunter. Okay.
But obviously I run Ghost Watch Wales as well, you know, which we have quite a good team, and we do a lot of paranormal investigating.
Yeah, and you're going to take me out one day, aren't you?
Yeah, you'll have to put a nappy on, no?
Oh, no, I'm pretty used to all this, so I'll be right. I won't be crapping myself, I'll tell you. I'm not a screamer.
She need a diaper on, Mark.
Well, you've obviously you have there's some beautiful places in Wales, and you have done most of the most famous places like Margam Castle.
I was in Margam for 30 years. I started it all there. Nobody'd ever done it. My wife started it with me, and obviously we've done a few TV programs from Margam Castle. I did, a friend of mine is Barry Fitzgerald. Now,
we know Barry. We know Barry.
You know Barry. Well, Barry used to do Ghost Hunters International, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he came to Margam and did a program with me. I used to work with Most Haunted, obviously. And after that, I did a program in China, but in Margam Castle for a Chinese BBC radio program, TV program.
You did?
And it was quite interesting because the woman couldn't speak proper English.
And you couldn't speak Chinese?
They put me in Chinese on it. You know, they voiced over me.
I'm glad to hear
I
that.
did a few Sky programs on the Paranormal as well from Margam Castle as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done a lot in Margam, but I used to do the ghost walks in the day as well there.
Mm.
But a lot
yeah.
of strange things happened when we were there, mine.
Mm. For those that don't know, Margam Castle is a beautiful, beautiful place. A fantastic staircase in there, isn't it? I sent you a picture of it once, Mark. Margam Castle.
Yes.
Belonged to the
Well,
Talbot family.
I've actually got a photo that I need. I will give it to you, Lynn. I've got to give you this.
Mm.
We actually got a photo of, the Talbot family lived, obviously. The main spirits in Margam Castle, there's a lot of residual energy, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The main spirits are the gamekeeper, who is buried actually in the churchyard down the road.
Yeah.
And also you have Emily Charlotte, spirit, Mr. Talbot, obviously, the spirit, and a couple of small little children that are there as well. But there was a lot of paranormal activity there, and we've actually got a photo which we sent away to Kodak to be actually verified. It was taken, if you know, on a normal Kodak easy share camera. You cannot, there's nothing you can do with that. And you can actually see this lady. We think it's Emily Charlotte.
Yeah? Well, I'd like to see that.
I'll give you a copy. When it came back from being examined, they said, no, it's there. There is no trickery. Because when we took it on the Kodak Easy Share, see, we sent the camera away with it on. So they could see it themselves. It was amazing. And there's no way you can actually put any apps on a normal, Kodak Easy Share.
Yeah.
But we've had a few experiences there with, I used to sleep there. We used to sleep there sometimes after doing Halloween night.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a beautiful place. What is the most scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
Well, we've also got Dylan Thomas's house as well at the moment now.
Do you know I love Dylan Thomas? I absolutely love him. That's just down the road. You know who Dylan Thomas was? The bard of Wales. He had this beautiful, beautiful voice. They made a film, Mark, didn't they? Geraint.
Yeah. No,
they made a film.
I'll tell you. Well, Dylan, I've got the actual birth house where he was born in Swansea.
Yeah.
It's in a place called
Is that the house you're going to do, or is it going to be the boathouse down there?
No, there's nothing in the boathouse.
No?
We actually do that. We've had stuff in the house because what happened was when we were there one night, we were just using a normal K2 and we were asking, we had Dylan Spirit, I think. We were asking him, can he light it up to red? And every question he asked us, there was no gap. He was answering.
Yeah.
The other one is what's the most spookiest thing? Right. Okay. Penarth, which is in Barry.
Yeah.
There was a school called Headlands there. Now, 2 children died in the school. But they did not. One died in the school, and before it was a school, it was a seaman's, like a hotel.
Yeah.
And a child died there as well. Right. They used to film Doctor Who there, and I actually did a child's version of Doctor Who. It's called Totally Doctor Who. And that's how I got into the building. And we started doing paranormal investigation. But the cellar, now I will go anywhere, right? But I would not go down that cellar on my own. My wife was down in the cellar. She was using a very expensive thermometer, which, you can see it's got a light on it.
Yeah.
And a child's face came up to her right in the face and really looked angry. And she legged it out of that cellar, I tell you. That's the most creepiest place. It was really weird, right? I mean, we walked into one bathroom. Now, if you can imagine now, this place hasn't been altered since it wasn't a normal school. It was for, how can I put it? It's more like a children's home, yeah?
Yeah, like an orphanage type place.
It was closed in the 80s because they were assaulting the children, basically, there, and it was closed down.
Yeah.
But all the furniture was still there, the carpets were still there, and, it was really, really atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were in a bathroom one night, and we were sitting down on the floor, and a little boy popped out of the bath and looked at us. And 6 of us saw that. I'll tell you one thing, right? That was really, really creepy. Yeah?
Mm.
And, of course, Gower Heritage as well. Gower Heritage is good for paranormal investigation.
I took the kids there about 2 years ago to the Gower Heritage Centre.
Well, if you've been there, Eileen, if you've been there, you know where the cafeteria is.
Yeah, but because we had something to eat in there when the kids were hungry,
Well, I actually did a DVD, from Gower Heritage, and I've actually captured a figure on it.
Yeah.
So we did we actually did a trigger object movement on the floor.
Yeah.
With a pencil, and we left a camera on it. I was there for a week, and next thing, the pencil shot across the floor, and we got that on footage. And also a very tall figure, which I've seen. But the main spirit there is called Will the Mill Jr. He was a little boy. Did you ever go and see the
we went in all the little places, like the blacksmith place, and we went through it all.
Did you go up where the wheel room was? Where the right,
we did.
Well, little Will fell in there, and he was crushed
big
by
water
the wheel.
wheel.
Yeah.
Oh.
There used to be a window there, see?
Yeah.
And they must have left the window open, and when Will was a little boy, he fell in there.
Oh.
Well, we were doing EVPs one night down outside the cafeteria, yeah?
Mm.
And if you can imagine now, the 2 people with me never been before. That was a good start to things. They were facing the way out. I was facing the way in on this bench.
Yeah.
And they all of a sudden ducked, and I wondered why. And next thing, this ball came out of the ball pit and went straight across and nearly hit me. But we used to do EVPs there,
Yeah.
And one night we said, well, there's nothing here. And next thing, a little voice goes, yes, I'm here. A little child's voice.
Oh.
But ones I can actually prove to you, that I've actually got proof that more than one person has got to be, right, obviously at the moment I'm in Fonmon Castle, which is up near the airport in Cardiff.
Yeah. That's where you are now? You're in there now?
No, that's that's my new place for Halloween, and
that's
I'm going to do ghost walks there. But the most unusual thing, and you will know where this place is, because you've obviously I think you might have been there twice. Geneva Park House, yes? Does it ring a bell?
No.
Newton House is called. It's
Newton House, yeah.
Right. Now, this is proof to that stuff. I'll tell you 2 stuff that happened up there, 2 different things that happened to us up there, right? Me and my wife were called in one morning with, it's run by the National Trust.
Yeah.
And they were having problems when they were going home in the night. Now, I have done investigations in Newton House years ago, right? But this was after I did investigations. We were called in because when they were coming to work in the morning, the papers would be strewn all over the floor and the lights would be on upstairs. So the guy from the National Trust asked me, would we do an investigation? Could we come up and have a look what's there?
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, there is a police station outside. But apparently the police officers who go down there at night when they heard there was lights and stuff on would go in twos because they were too frightened to go. Anyway, me and Yolan arrived there on a very nice day at 9 a.m. in the morning, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And as we walked through the door, there was a gentleman there dressed like in a deer stalker, in like, like period costume.
Yeah.
Which we didn't think anything of, because obviously they do it in a place up in Swansea called Llan Kayak Fawr. They dress up there.
Yeah.
So we asked him, is Dave here? And he said, oh, come in. He said, Dave's on the top floor. Yolan's having a conversation with this guy now, right? So we go upstairs and we find Dave on the top floor. And Dave asks me, how did you find me? I said, well, Yolan said, the bloke's downstairs. He said, there's no staff in here. She said, there's a bloke downstairs. And he asked her what he was wearing. Was it? She said he had a deer stalker on his head, like a gamekeeper clothes. And he laughed.
Hold on, Megan. A deer stalker, Mark, is the hat that Sherlock Holmes used to wear.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So he laughed when we told him, and he said, come with me. So we went down the cellar of the house.
Yeah.
Now, by now, this guy wasn't there anymore, right? And in the cellar was a painting of the gamekeeper that died 200 years before. And we had a conversation with him.
Gosh.
Then it gets a little bit more creepy now. A couple of weeks after, I was with my mate Craig. Now, Craig used to do a lot of paranormal investigating with me, right?
Yeah.
But when this happened, Craig has never been since. We decided to go up to Geneva Castle for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
What we were doing was, we were filming, I was doing a live with Most Haunted internationally, and I had all the fans parked outside my house. They managed to find out where I lived.
Yeah.
And so they were following us everywhere. So what we were doing was taking them on false, not to show really where we were going to do it.
Oh, you took them on a false trail, yeah.
Yeah. Like we took them up Swiss Valley, which you know where that is. And
Oh, yeah.
well, anyway, we decided to go to the Geneva Castle, and again, it was a lovely warm day. So as we walked up to the castle, we noticed on the left-hand side, in this field, by the way, we never got to the castle that day, right? After what happened. Well, anyway, you got this field, and in the bottom of the field there is a church. It's called San Church, right? So I took a photo of the church now from the top of because you're talking, it's in the bottom of the field, right?
Right.
And it's on a slant. So I took the photo, and Craig told me, oh, look, there's an old lady just walked up the bushes. I said, well, it's too late. I've taken the photo. Now, this is very important to remember this. Yoland wasn't with me. She's gone to see her asthma nurse in the surgery. She's gone to the doctor to see her. Now, remember that bit. That's important, right? Anyway, so me and Craig, now, we climb over the stile to get in the field. But, of course, we're going downhill to the church. Now, the old lady would have been about nearly in the church. And we're now right on top of the field.
Yeah.
So she's going to get in the church before us, isn't she?
Yeah.
No, she didn't. She got there at the same time as us. And I just can't work it out. And she opened the gate and she closed the gate on me to stop me coming in the graveyard. And she was dressed like a nanny. She had white false teeth and a brown handbag. And you know the old clip-on sunglasses?
Oh, yeah.
So she clipped them up so we could see her eyes. I had a very funny feeling, right, at this moment. There was something not right. Anyway, she goes to sit in the graveyard, and we go up to talk to her. She says to us, isn't it a lovely day? I come here every day to visit Lord Geneva, but I never stay long. Well, he's buried there, you see?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I go around the back of the church now, and I leave Craig with this old lady. So when I come back, Craig now, I said, where's the old lady, Craig? Oh, don't talk to me, he said. I've had a guts full of her. She grabbed my hand, she was rubbing my shoulders and telling me everybody was buried in the graveyard. And every photo I took, she said, am I in your way? So anyway, I said, well, okay, where's she gone? And she's gone on the back after you. He said, you weren't happy at all. So anyway, we came home, And when I came home, now we decided to download these photos on the computer. Well, Yolan was already home, see? And she said, did you see the old lady? I said, hang on a minute now. I said, you're not that psychic. She said, did you see the old lady dressed as an Annie? And I go, yeah. She's not in any of the photos, Eileen. Nothing, Mark, nothing. The only photo she's in is the one that I took outside the graveyard. And Yolan reckons because it's off hallowed ground.
You got the photo?
She's brighter than the sheep. But this is where it gets creepy now. How did Yolan know? Well, she had a Ghost Watch Wales top in the doctor's, and the doctor, the nurse she saw, and the nurse said, do you believe in ghosts? And my wife said, yes. She said, I take my dogs up Newton House, and I drove in the entrance one day, and an old lady in blue stepped out and nearly ran her over. She was dressed like a nanny, and obviously she moved. Now, if you know this, Mark won't know, but Eileen, you'll know that the house is a fair way away from the entrance, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the time she drove to the house, the old lady was outside the house. And her dog was in the car, the hair stood up, and she said to the nurse exactly what she told me and thing, isn't it a lovely day? And she disappeared in front of her.
My God.
So that is proof. That is proof, isn't it?
Yeah, we got some ghosts here, Mark, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I would like to know if, Grant, if you've ever tried investigating or looking into Clonstefan Castle.
Yes, I have been there.
And the reason we're asking is because a couple years back, Irene was just there with her family on just a date visit, just visiting the castle, and she took a bunch of photographs, and in at least 3 or 4 photographs she caught apparitions. One of them.
Right, can I stop you a minute? Can I ask you, did she see a little boy? Is there a little boy in the photo?
No, but there's a woman that's dressed, I don't know, she's kind of dressed Victorian, she has a funny headdress on.
I always thought she looked like she was wearing some kind of nurse's uniform, or maybe,
something like that,
or maybe like a nun. And then we caught farther away what looked like, and you'll have to describe the costume, one of those old type, a man standing up in the castle with an old type of those guard costumes, with the red puffy shirt. But
there was no floor there.
Black hat. Yeah, and there's no floor there.
Right. I did an investigation there. I took a local radio station there one night. It's called Swansea Sound. Irene will know.
I know it.
Right. I didn't know anything about the castle, like you didn't know anything. And I had this very strange feeling, Eileen, that a little boy had fallen off the wall and died there. See, something came to me, there was a little boy there.
Yeah.
So, we did see, I think what we saw was, a lady, She came out in one of the photos with my mate. She looked as if she was a Victorian nurse. Is that what you saw?
Yes, it's kind of like I can't describe her. I can't. If you look at the front cover of my book, which book is it, Mark?
My Life Among the Spirits.
Yeah. If you look at the front, the picture is on the front cover.
Right. What happened then was I went back there about a week after in the daytime, and I asked the local, what had happened there. And he told me a little boy fell off the wall and died in the castle, but this is back in the 60s, a little boy fell.
Oh.
But he said there is a lady in white there, apparently, or grey, which is probably what you saw. And they have seen somebody on the battlements, but there's no battlements, there's no floor, is there? Do you know what I mean?
No, there is no floors up there. On some of those towers.
No, the only other one we did was Pembrey Country Park, which you know as well.
Yeah, that's famous.
Now, something really weird happened down there. We don't go down there anymore. but something really weird did happen in Pembrey Country Park. I took 2 new people with me. Can you imagine this now? If you picture this now, Eileen, we're a half a mile in the woods, okay? Now, the legend is that there is actually a witch in Pembrey Country Park, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the little town outside is called Trenell, and she was Nell the witch, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We had some weird things there, but also, they used to lure ships into Pembrey, and the ships they used to lure the ships in and then pillage the ships, basically.
Yeah.
And anyway, after that, it was the Royal Ordnance Factory, World War I and World War II, where they used to make bombs there.
Yeah, that's right.
We were half a mile in the woods, okay? And they have what's called a pillbox. They used to shoot out of them. It's like a concrete building.
Yeah,
So
World War II thing, isn't it? It's like you put snipers and things in there, and if anyone comes up off the beach into the area, they shoot them.
Well, what happened was we were sitting outside one of these pillboxes, and I decided to do an EVP. Now it's 3:00 in the morning, I think, right? And we're out. We're half a mile away from the car park, and I did an EVP. And what I did, I put 2 K2 meters on the floor.
Yeah.
And I asked this if there was any spirits with us, and I said, no, we have total respect for you. We mean you no harm. Can you light these machines up for me, right?
Yeah.
And this foreign voice came over and said, yeah, which one? Which was really weird, right? So he was.
What do you mean? It had
which
an
one?
accent to it.
He had an accent, yeah. I think it was something like Polish or something.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that night because the 2 with me wouldn't stay. They didn't know. So we walked back. But if you remember, when they used to pillage the ships down there, it was the little hatchet men used to do it. They used to call them little hatchet men. And one of the ships that they actually pillaged had, now then, let me think how we can explain this, Right. You've heard of Napoleon and Josephine?
Yeah.
Josephine's niece was on that ship.
Josephine was on it?
No, a niece.
Oh, her niece.
Her niece. And they actually killed her, cut the ring off her finger, and she is actually buried in Pembrey churchyard.
Is she?
Her name was Adelaide. And if you look in the graveyard, you can't see the grave because they put the stone up against the wall, obviously, so we don't know where the actual grave is.
Yeah.
But you can actually see the French gravestone, and her name was Adelaide.
Oh.
And they used to take the bodies then to this pub down the road, down the cellar, and they used to chop. They get rid of take all the jewelry off them. They were called in Welsh Boba a Bwelli Bach, the little hatchet men of Pembrey. They used to light fires on top of the mountain to lure the ships in.
Yeah. So there rocks out there at the sea.
Yeah, you need to see Mark.
The ship would hit the rocks and then they'd go out to the ships and pillage them.
Ask Mark to try and say Boba a Bwelli Bach.
Go on then, Mark.
Ask me to do what now?
Say something.
It's Bobol. Say it. I'll give it to you in little bits, right? It's Bobol.
Bobol.
That's good. Bwelli.
I didn't quite hear that one.
Bwelli.
Yeah, what you said.
Did you get that? Yeah.
Bwelli.
Yeah, that's it. Bach. As in, say, like the composer Bach.
Bach.
That's it. He's got it.
And that's it.
Johnny Osmond can sing in Welsh, so if he can sing in Welsh, we'll teach you Welsh as well, Mark.
Oh, okay. I know very little Welsh, other than Glenant and
which is my house.
Gleneffie and the Trey Moore.
The Tremor, yeah.
It's a really hard language to learn. But anyway, yeah, that's what I found out about the castle, okay? But also Pembrey Country Park, and also my wife's ancestors' house is Llanelli House, which I think Elaine knows about.
Yeah, I do.
No, there's a lot of stuff happens in there. In the new DVD I've done, which is coming out before long for charity,
Yeah.
I will send you the copy with Elaine, and she can send you a copy. I'll send you a copy of it. We've had EVPs in there. The main spirit in there was Mira Turner. She was the housekeeper for not for the Stepneys. It was for I think it was the Stepneys, and she took laudanum. She took laudanum, and she fell down the stairs apparently, or got pushed on the stairs, they believe. But they think that one of the lords of the house got her pregnant.
I thought she fell out of a window or something.
Now, yeah, there's different stories about it. They say she fell out the window, but I think the truth is she actually took this poison and she fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because when you go, I'll have to take you there one night, Aileen, for you to see.
I've only seen Llanelli House from the outside. I've never actually been in it.
I used to go there when it was derelict, okay? But now I've been going there, I go there now, I can tell you now that definitely a member of staff there has seen a key. She said they've got like a cupboard under the stairs and the key didn't fall out. If it had fallen out, I'd have said it could just have fallen out. But the key shot across the floor and hit the wall to the side. You could see the indentations.
Yeah.
And this lady doesn't believe in spirits.
That must have been some force.
It is terrific force. And the other thing that they've seen there is, looking back in history, we believe that this made like dandelion and burdock pop, right?
Pop.
Yeah. I don't know. What would you call that in America? It's not
booze.
Pop, is it? What do you...
Fizzy drink.
Yeah, fizzy drink.
Soda.
Yeah. Well,
soda. Yeah.
Soda. Anyway, when people used to go back to work in the morning in the cafeteria there, the dandelion and burdock bottles had always been a little bit taken out of them. So it's really, really weird, and I know that there's nothing bad in there, but it is a good place to go for a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And there are a few other spirits in the house as well.
Mm-hmm.
This was quite frightening, to be honest here, right? We were up in the nursery part, okay? And they'd got a cot in there, just on show. And as we opened the door, the cot was actually moving back and forth.
The cradle.
The cradle, yeah.
And
so we stayed in there and nothing else happened until about an hour before we leave. And we're talking in there all night now. The only difference was that my team went home, but me and Yolan slept in there. So we didn't go home that night. And walked again. We could hear the cradle, because you can hear, because it's a wooden floor.
Yeah.
The cradle, we opened the door and the cradle was moving again. So it's a good place to go.
Well, yeah. You can take me there, you and your Landy.
I'll take you there when I do the next. I will be doing a program there 2 nights before Halloween.
Yeah.
But it's only for it's for a magazine program on TV in the night. It's in Welsh, it is.
Yeah.
I will take it on, because we have Area 51, which Eileen, you already know. I've mentioned to you before.
Yeah, and that's not the Area 51 that you've got out there, Mark.
Yeah, the reason we call it Area 51 is because we have different codes on different places that we go. So one of the places we go to as well, which is really good, Eileen, is Oystermouth Castle.
I've not been there either.
You haven't been there?
No, I haven't been there.
Yeah, well, the other place as well is there's a French spirit in the Oystermouth Castle. She was, I can't remember the surname now, but anyway, she is the White Lady. And when they altered the castle, they managed to find, by digging down, there is a room called the Whipping Room.
Whipping Room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how can I explain it? It's like a big dome room. They only dug it out a few years ago. They didn't know it was there. When you go down this room, there is a pillar. There's a pillar in there, and they apparently tie people to the pillars and with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we decided. Now, how can we talk to a spirit of a French woman? It's a bit of a job, isn't it? So we had. Yeah. Now she's called the White Lady. She's quite famous. When they were working in the castle, some of the builders, they fell off the scaffolding because they had such a fright because they saw the White Lady, right? And it's very sad. I think she was called Elena. Okay, I'm not sure about it, but anyway, a friend of mine speaks French, so he started talking while we did an EVP in French.
Yeah.
And she came back and said, we had a French woman saying we, and he asked her, why are you still in the castle? Would you like to go into the light? And she said no, in a French accent, and we got that on tape.
Yeah.
The problem was, the lady was with us at the time, it's run by the local authorities. I think she had a bit of a fright because she said to me, I don't believe in spirits. But when that came over, when we did the EVP and that came over, she really, really changed colour, and she said, right, I'm not coming here. I lock up here in the night, she said. She said, I'm okay about it now, but I just couldn't believe what I've just heard, she said. And it came out on an EVP, It was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow. Well, Grant, we're actually coming towards the end of the program here. So now, are you doing any types of events that are coming up here soon that you wanted to advertise, or how can people get in touch with you?
Right. We've got, obviously, I'll have Halloween before long. I'll be doing an investigation Halloween night. And that will be obviously on the 31st of October. And that is in Fonmon Castle, which is near Cardiff. They can join my Facebook page if they want to know more about it. It's Ghost Watch Wales. And that's it. If they put in Ghost Watch Wales, they might... I know something else will come up if they put in Ghost Watch Wales. So it's Ghost Watch Wales Facebook page.
Okay.
And they can, I'll add them to my Facebook, and I can talk to people that way. Or I can give you my mobile number if you want, which I use all the time anyway.
Yeah, not over the air. Not over the air, Grant. Otherwise, you'll have everyone phoning you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they can contact you through your Facebook page.
That would be a better idea. Yeah, that would be a better idea.
Okay. Well, Grant, thank you very much for coming on the show. Our guest today has been Geraint Hopkins, from Gothic Ghost Hunter with Ghost Watch Wales and the Snake Man. So, Grant, thank you very much for being a part of the show.
And
thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure.
Before you go, Geraint, you and your Landy have to come round. We'll have tiffin in the garden. I'm English.
Your homemade wine, you mean?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Muffins.
Okay, yeah. Thank you again. That was brilliant.
When it's sunshine, just give me a ring, come down, or I'll ring you, and you know where I am anyway, don't you?
I know where you are, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for...
You take care now, Mark.
Okay. Thank you. You too. And I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to another edition of the Paranormal UK radio show, the flagship show of the Paranormal UK radio network. And everyone, you stay safe out there, and we will see you all next week. Irene?
Yeah, and you can find us everywhere, can't you, Mark?
Yep. Try it. Google us. You'll find us everywhere.
Yeah, and we're on Spotify now
Yep.
as well. Don't forget that.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good one, everyone, and we will catch you next week. Take care now.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.